Hello, guys, and welcome to the first episode of VERSATALES, which is a podcast series started by our club VERSATALES. And I am Rohith Ladi, and I am very much honored as it is our first episode of our VERSATALES. And today, as our guest, we are having our beloved sir, the Dean of Academics, Kiran Sir. Good morning, sir.
Good morning.
I wish you a very happy new year.
I wish you too a very happy new year.
Sir, welcome to the inaugural episode of VERSATALES.
It's my pleasure to be part of this particular session. Yeah.
And we are very much honored to invite you, sir, and I hope we would have a good talk together.
I hope to, so.
Sir, before we dive into the discussion, can you share your New Year resolution with the students?
New Year resolution is, of course, the primary resolution in terms of profession is to improve the quality of whatever we are delivering to students. Fine-tune every aspect of academics. There is always scope for improvement. So looking at what can be improved and strategizing for those improvements is the primary motto every year. So I think that's the biggest resolution I can ever take.
Yeah, I think it would be a good initiative. Sir, now coming to your journey, sir, can you share a bit about your journey, how it started, and why did you choose KLU to pursue your profession, and how is your experience matched with your initial expectations?
To be very honest, when I joined KL, I didn't have much expectations. I joined KL because I wanted to move from Australia back to my native, and when I looked at the options that I had, KL was one of the better options that were there then. But then once I joined, I think I was completely immersed. There wasn't a single day where I felt that there is not much scope. Every day there are new challenges, every day there is new excitement at work. So now I feel that that's the best decision I've ever taken.
Sir, from associate professor to the Dean of Academics, can you express it in one line?
It has been a very fast growth curve. So I joined as associate professor in 2016 here. And within 3 months, I moved into as an associate dean, and a year from there, a year and a half from there, I became the head of the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. And then 5 years have gone past being the head of the Computer Science and Engineering, and then I probably came back to my original office as Dean Additional Academics.
Sir, now from the student perspective, sir, is CGPA of the students is quietly related to NIRF ranking? I am asking this question because recent times we were having a discussion between third years and second years regarding the change of the new paper pattern, due to which the difficulty of the question paper increases and results into lowering of CGPA and boosts the NIRF ranking. Is it true that NIRF ranking is connected to CGPA?
NIRF ranking is never connected with CGPA. It is connected with the graduation percentages. The graduation percentages for us has been pretty good. Yes. When we, last year, the Computer Science and Engineering had 95% graduation percentage. So the NIRF ranking is never something that would base on CGPA. That's a myth. If students think that lower CGPAs would give better NIRF ranking, that would never be the case. Right.
So now going to the next question, our KLU academic curriculum is designed in such a way that from morning 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. there will be classes for both academics and non-academics. It is almost about 12 hours busy schedule. In this busy schedule, there is a new methodology came into the scenario, that is flipped learning, in which the students have to cover some topics before they reach to the class. Especially the day scholar students who find almost physically impossible to manage this type of learning methodology. So what advice you want to give to the students so that they can overcome it?
Before I give the advice, let me first break the myths of having college from 7 to 7. Right? 7 to 7 is only a perception. That's not the fact. When I look at the timetable, a student may have an early morning class probably twice a week or thrice a week, not more than that, definitely not more than that. And even that thrice a week is something that he has chosen. He could have had a choice of fitting into the 9 to 5, but probably because of late registration or because of those slots being filled, that he has taken an early morning slot for a day or two. But after that, again, the evening 7 o'clock, the 5 to 7 period that we have, 5:20 to 7:20 that we have, that is completely meant for activities, the social immersive learning activities. But then these activities, you do not have to participate in them every day. So if some students are taking part in these activities every day, then I should tell them, using this as an opportunity, that you do not have to take part in SIL activities every day unless and until you're very passionate towards them, right? So the myth of being there on campus till 7 o'clock in the evening every day is, in fact, that students have to understand that if they are willing to participate in social immersive learning, they only have to spend about 1 day in a week to get those 1,000 points, because you anyways have Samyak in one semester, Surabhi in one semester, where you will be gathering a lot of SIL points. So other than these two events, for your every day, every week schedule, you all have to spend just about one event in a week, and that's it. I don't think then the college is from 7 to 7, right? So that's the first point. But then to answer your question on flipped learning, is not a new concept. It has been there from ages. All that flipped learning says is come to a class prepared, right? So you have to spend, for every 1 hour of a class that you have, you'll have to spend half an hour at least in that week, right? So if you have 6 courses where you have theory exams, then you probably would have to spend about 3 hours in the entire week learning for those courses. So if you cannot spend even 3 hours in a week, I don't think it would really help you even to get better CGPAs, right? So what we are trying to inculcate in students is to avoid that last minute preparation and prepare for the courses right from the beginning of the semester. So that will eventually help you when you take your exams. When you go for your semin exams or final exams, you would see the benefit that there is a lot of concepts that you have already prepared even before you started your preparation for the final exam, right? That's the whole purpose.
Sir, but some of the day scholars are finding it impossible because some of the students who are actively participating in the SIL activities, and some are in their respective clubs, and after 7:30 they have to move to the college, move to the home, and due to more distance they are unable to fulfill this flipped learning. So what advice would you give especially to the day scholars?
Again, like, why 7:30 every day? That's what I've been telling, right? It's not 7:30 every day. It's only 7:30 once for SIL, once for your AdCoder contest, right? Other than that, it is not 7:30 every day. So by the time you go back home, yes, it is a tight schedule. I do not say that it is an easy schedule. But then it is important for you to spend at least an hour at home every day to relook into what you have learned, or to relook into what you should learn, right? Even before you go for sleep, rather than spending much time on your social media, it is important that students spend time on social media. I don't deny that. But along with that, also ensure that there is certain time, at least half an hour every day, 6 days, 6 half an hours, 3 hours. Is that good enough? Should that be a deal? Right? So it's all about prioritizing your work. It's all about setting it right. So one thing that we want students to inculcate into their schedule is, how do you set your daily routine? How do you prioritize your works? And how do you see that you accomplish those, right? Because when you look at, as you ask, if someone else listens to this question, they would say, oh, it is impossible. How does a student cope up? But then all it takes is for you to properly plan. So when you go back home, let's assume that you are going back home at 7:30, which is not the case for all the days in a week anyways. But when you start here at 7:30, when you reach home by 8:30, right? Fresh up, have your dinner, spend half an hour, not more than that. Half an hour to look at what are the classes that are scheduled tomorrow, right? Is there a video that I have to go through? Is there a quiz that I need to take, right? Spend about half an hour and then get back to your social media, sleep off. Your focus in the class would be much better, and that will result in you preparing for your courses right from day one instead of waiting till the end of the semester, right? So, yeah.
Sir, moving to the next question, our students are feeling very much stressed due to this new flipped learning concept. Of course, it is not, but some students are feeling some stress levels and new paper change in the paper pattern and social immersive learning. Apart from this, we also have to fulfill our requirements like writing workbooks, attending to global challenges, and completing Coursera certifications. So some of the students are facing very much stress. So what are some suggestions you can provide to them so that they can overcome this stress?
First of all, let's address this word stress. The learning that you have is a task. So to accomplish a task, you need a certain planning. So in order to perform a job, in order to work, you need certain planning but not stress. So students must understand that work, when you take stress on the work, you will not be able to accomplish even a bit of it. So put aside that emotional attachment that you have, right? It leads to stress because you overthink that, oh, I need to do this, I need to do that. So how would I be able to manage? Instead of being emotionally connected, look at it as a task, look at it as a checklist, look at it as a to-do list, and then start working on it. So task number 1, okay, let me finish this. Task number 2, let me finish this, right? So the word stress is something which students should self-reflect and convert that into a task that has to be completed, right? So there should not be emotional anxiety over the work that has to be completed. That's point number 1. And point number 2, this question has been asked by many people, like writing the workbooks is not giving me enough time to learn.
Yes, sir.
Right? Now, the way I look at it is, in fact, the way I want students to look at it is, writing is no different from learning. You are asked to do a pre-lab work or a post-lab work because we want you to learn that concept. So when you work on an assignment, or when you work on a lab workbook, or when you work on anything that is meant to be written, right, the purpose behind that must be understood by the student rather than mechanically doing it. The reason why it has now become a stress is because what students do is they just gather some other friend's work and then they just copy it. So copying mechanically will take hours and hours, and that will stress you out. That will stress you out because you spend about 2 hours, and after 2 hours you have nothing, you didn't take anything in terms of learning from it, right? So instead of writing it mechanically, we want you to learn while you do that. So your lab workbook writing or your assignment that you do is meant for your learning. So when you learn while you do that, your job is half done, right? You don't need to spend extra time separately for learning. So workbook writing or the assignment, working on an assignment is part of your learning. So look at it as a learning exercise rather than these two as two different things, right? Then you will be able to plan your schedule appropriately.
So now I think it would be very much convincing to the most of the students. So now
I
coming
hope so,
back,
yeah.
now coming back to your profession, sir, is there any decision? Can you share any one of your decision you felt it is a worst decision, and how it is affected your personal and professional growth?
A worst decision as in my life or as in
Profession?
In the profession. In the profession, there wouldn't be any worse decisions. What would happen is sometimes we take decisions which are more experimental in nature, right? So, and we have to do that. We need to first, if we are trying to implement something new, we will have to experiment on it. And then as we see a couple of batches go past, we fine tune that process, right? So when we fine tune something, then we would feel that, okay, the experiment that we have done was not 100% efficient, right? So other than that, there wouldn't be any worse decisions, because decisions are not taken by an individual. We take decisions through a committee. We have a group of people, all the administrators. We sit together and then we think about, obviously, students as the center point, and surrounding the student, whatever is benefit for them is what we end up taking as a decision. But then to begin with, a student may not realize that instantly, right? So a lot of decisions that we have taken where students felt that in the second year or third year that they were a little difficult to handle, but we have got feedback from students after their final year, when they got into their jobs, when they came back, they told us that, so these were some of the best decisions which we did not realize when we were on campus, right? So I think are not so effective in the second year or third year, or which may lead to stress, as you rightly say the words. These decisions are not something that you would realize the importance immediately now. When you go back to your career, when you look at your job, when you excel compared to other people, other peers from other colleges, then you will realize that only because of these decisions that you were able to be in that place wherever you are, right? So there are no bad decisions, no worst is a very big word, worst decisions ever. But yes, decisions have been fine-tuned.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sir, now coming to the placement scenario, most of the elders and parents almost heard about the engineering colleges are claiming 100% placement, but some seniors who have already received their degrees but did not achieve a good job. So what is the thing that is lagging in their skills or something else?
See, first of all, let me clarify what 100% placements is all about. 100% placements is for the eligible students. Students who are eligible, students who have no backlogs, who have the sufficient amount of CGPA, sufficient CGPA, they are the ones who are eligible for placements. So once a student gains that eligibility, we take it on to us and say that every such student is, we take the responsibility of placing them. And we have been placing all these eligible students from past many years. I think KL has got a history of over a decade, much above a decade, that they have been placing students above 100, all the 100% students. But saying so, we are not neglecting those who do not have the eligibility. We take every measure to bring them also into that eligibility cadre, and we start showing them opportunities even after they graduate. Even till date, even if this is December 2023 or 2024 as today is, we still have a lot of opportunities for the Y19 students who have graduated. So not just Y19, I think 2018-22 graduated students also get a lot of opportunities from us even now, right? So we do not, once a student is part of KL, we take them as our own students till infinity, right? So till they have a proper career, right? So there are a lot of your seniors who relook into our placement opportunities and they use them for moving from one job to another job as well, right? Yeah.
Sir, what about the placement rate of 2024? So how the seniors can expect the placements?
To be very honest, 2024 has not been as flourishing as 2023 was because of various factors. You have been seeing a lot of layoffs in IT industry. It hasn't been very flourishing as 2023 was, but I should say KL has done a fabulous job with 2024 batch. We almost have 80% of our students placed. We still have a semester to go, and I'm sure we will knock that 100% mark once again. But then this also should teach us a lesson that no matter what the circumstances outside are, when we have complete grip on the subject that we are learning, then irrespective of what the outside circumstances are, student will get placed, right? And that has been proven by our 2020 batch, that is who is graduating in 2024, that if 80% of them have already been placed, I think that's wonderful. No other college has got at this point of time that placement percentage outside, keeping all the factors into consideration.
Sir, is there any possibility of launching freelancing courses, because freelancing is the area where the student can be paid off?
Freelancing courses as in?
Means freelancing is a course where the student is almost paid in every area. So is there any possibility of launching freelancing courses where the students can learn skills like photo editing, video editing?
Oh, you mean where students can pick freelancing projects,
Yes, sir.
freelancing jobs? I think the full stack development skills were mainly meant for that. For CSE students and even for other engineering streams, the SDP courses, the skill development project courses, were mainly meant for that. The purpose of launching these courses was to ensure that every student, right from their second year, once they finish their second year first semester, they should be in a position to fetch projects from outside clients. Right? That's exactly what freelancing
Yes,
is, right? So, and I have seen that happen. Like when we did the skill development project courses for the first time with Y19 students, the 2023 graduated students, they were in large number in their second year. They were picking up projects from outside, and they were earning. Some of the students were earning almost a lakh per month just by doing projects from outside. And I think the SDP courses are mainly meant for that.
So SDB courses involves like MERN stack and Java full stack. But video editing and photo editing is about the softwares like CapCut software. So is there any possibility of launching how to learn these apps?
We are planning to run some postgraduate diploma programs and graduate diploma programs, which will have all these contemporary tool-based learnings. And even if you look at our programs like BSc Animation and Gaming, whatever you said, the tools, they are all STP courses for them.
Okay, sir.
So students can always pick up these courses as a mix and match depending on their interest, and they can always learn through our own academics and also through our newly launched, not yet launched, they will be soon, very soon launched, some of the diploma programs that we are planning to, right? But along with all these, what I would also say is the technical clubs that we have are one big source for students to get on to such tool-based learning, right? Clubs like Mayavi, clubs like the clubs that are formed by BSc Animation and Gaming department, they teach all these different contemporary tools, especially the ones that you're mentioning, right? So clubs would be one place, one active place where students will be getting their hands dirty with the latest tools. And that's the reason why the social immersive learning was put in place in the first thing.
Okay, sir. Sir, the students who are being consistent from the beginning of the academics and the students who prepare one day before the examinations are almost getting same marks and CGPA. So what change in the curriculum can be brought up so that these two categories can be differentiated?
See, hard work right from day one doesn't always lead to success. Hard work with clear goal leads to success. So students who are preparing right from day one with a clear goal are the ones who definitely would fetch better CGPA than the ones who prepare the night before, right? And that's exactly where flipped learning was introduced, right? Flipped learning, the purpose of flipped learning is to ensure that you're preparing every day, though for a little duration. You're preparing every day with a clear goal, right? And then you get evaluated on that day itself when you take that quiz. So with that kind of preparation, definitely your CGPA would be a much better number than the ones who just prepare the night before.
Sir, as we are going through all the aspects of the student life, sir, if suppose a student is in relationship, then how can he navigate the balance between being in the relationship and his academic performance?
Okay, this is a bit out of the box question for me because to talk about relationships in campus, I would say while you're studying engineering, the best relationship you can ever have is with your academics itself, with your learning itself. But now that people have moved on to a very different lifestyle, if they have relationships, I mean, there were times when we have counseled a lot of students who were in relationship, and the way we counsel them is to make them understand that that reason could be the reason for them to actually study well, right? So for all those people who are in relationships now, right, I think the better reason for you to focus on your academics, because when you want your relationship to flourish, I think the first thing that you need to have is a stable academic career, a stable career after 4 years, right? So without that, I don't think any relationship will flourish. Even if you are a very good person in your relationship, and if you're not so good with your career planning, I don't think any relationship would flourish with such kind of imbalance. So keep your balance right and keep that as a purpose. As I always tell students, that when you work hard, you should work hard with a clear goal. The goal probably now becomes the relationship, right? So if you have to maintain that relationship, sustain that, take it forward to next step, right, I think you will have to focus on your career, and that becomes the reason why you have to focus on your career.
Sir, simply, what is the definition of love in your book?
Okay, you're asking this question to Dean Academics. For me, love is something that you would take it up unconditionally, right? Anything. Love for learning, love for a hobby, or a love for a person is something that you would take up unconditionally.
Means unconditional emotion.
Unconditional emotion with clear clarity in your thought process. I mean, as an unconditional emotion doesn't mean you're emotional about everything that happens. You ensure that if it is a person that you're talking about, as in this age students only talk about people. If you're talking about love towards a person, then always look for what is better for the person, right? So sometimes you will have to take call. Even when we take decisions, and if there is a conflict of opinion, a conflict of decision that we have to take, then first thing we'll check is what is good for a student, right? So if I have two different thought processes, and if I have a conflict on which one is better, then I would put students in place and see that what is best for the student, and that gives an instant answer. There is no ambiguity at all. So that's the same thing with whatever you're asking for. I mean, always think about the other person, keeping them as the center when you have to take a decision, and that's exactly what unconditional love is.
Sir, finally, any one suggestion to students of KLU?
Happy learning in this new year, right? Learn as much as you can. Learn with a lot of passion, learn with joy, right? Always enjoy what you're learning and always enjoy what you're doing. Like as a club also, when you do whatever you're planning to do, put your best into it and ensure that you're enjoying every moment of it, right? So when you enjoy every moment of it, I think there's no looking back for your club, for your career, anything. You will not regret for any decisions that you have taken, which probably were not successful at that point of time, but you will not have regrets when you put your best.
Sir, thank you very much for spending your valuable time with us. I hope it was a good talk.
It is.
And thank you very much, sir.
It's my pleasure to be part of this conversation. Yeah.
Thank you for KL SAC for giving this opportunity.